Burnout. It's basically something that can happen to anyone. It can happen basically at any point in time, feeling that there's no meaning to the things that we're doing or that whatever that is happening is purposeless. Burnout can be a very, very scary feeling. It doesn't only apply to games. It also applies to work, it applies to study, applies to anything that we do in life. That being to say that it won't just be Arknights that we face a situation of burnout. There are other games as well that people are getting so tired by, like Genshin. There's a lot of people who's already tired of the anniversary drama, even though it's kind of being tamed because of that hot new boy that appeared and then people are talking less about the drama. But yes, people were tired out by that. Other gacha games as well, many people may have played that for years, been tired. And then we bring back to Arknights. There are people here as well that may be getting very tired of the game. It may be you who's watching the video right now. It could be someone else that you know, that you see on social media, or your actual friend that's playing the game. So, the point of this video is that we're going to talk about why people are experiencing burnout in Arknights, and what can you do to manage this burnout to help you to either regain the interest in the game, or at least to help you to manage it in a way that is very specific for you. So, there are 4 reasons that I'm going to cover. Let's go down the list one by one. The first reason that I'm going to talk about is the fact that people have been playing the game for a really long time. Arknights has been running for about 2 years now, and that is insanely long. In my own personal experience of gacha games, I've never stayed in a gacha game for more than 3 months, and I'm serious about it. The longest gacha game that actually hooked me, personally, was Soccer Spirits. I was very intrigued by Soccer Spirits because it had a very unique gameplay, and there's a lot of wonderful characters. So it's kind of sad to see that Soccer Spirits is no longer receiving server updates right now. Even though I no longer play the game, I in spirit still support the game for whatever developments it has. And it's too bad, the game is kind of like in a dead state now, and who knows if it will vanish in oblivion at some point in time. But back to the games, many gacha games tend to be a thing whereby I try and I just don't end up getting very intrigued by the gameplay. Arknights is a bit of a different game. I'm so surprised that I'm playing it for more than a year, and it goes to show that it is a wonderful game. It is a game that can get you very, very interested and to hook you in for a very long duration of time. But, not gonna lie, even for myself as someone who plays since launch, I do get tired of the game as well. It's so long, it feels like I'm playing the game every day, I'm seeing the same stages of farming, I'm getting all these materials, I need to do my base, do my recruitment, manage my operators. It's something that is very rinse and repeat. So, to do this continuously, at some point, this can feel like a chore and really drain people out. And when I say drain people out, it's to the point where this drives people to the point of burnout, basically just losing all the energy and motivation to play the game. In order to manage this sort of feeling, if let's say you're someone who's been playing for long and you find that, the game is feeling purposeless, you don't really know why you're staying in the game as much as you want anymore. To me, this comes down to a point whereby you have to manage the motivations that you have in the game. There are different motivations that people can have when playing gacha games. It could be because you love collecting operators. You enjoy the feeling of building a very nice squad that can be different from other people. Maybe it's because of the content in the game. You enjoy playing the stages, thinking through new strategies each time when you play. Or it can be the community. It could be because of people that you meet online or your real life friends that plays with you that gets you to be hooked into the game. Whichever motivation that you have that hooked you in the game, think about that again. And the thing that you have to consider is that, is this motivation right now helping you out? Is it something that's keeping you to say that, because of this drive that I have, I'm still very happy to play the game? Or has it hit a point whereby you don't feel motivated by this goal anymore? Or even worse so, it's actually making you feel more dreadful. By that, as an example that I can give, it can be a situation whereby you're an operator collector and you're playing the game to the point that you feel like you want to collect as much as you can. But you can't get everyone because your Pokédex is missing these few operators that really doesn't want to come home. Instead of making you happy, now it's making you angry. It could be a situation whereby you love building operators, but you've built such a nice balanced squad, maybe full of meta, full of units that you really, really like, to the point that you feel like there isn't anything else that you want to build. You don't have any more goals in the game. So what's the point of staying when it feels like you have everything? This might sound very apparent to some of you who play since launch, because by now you're level 100, 110 or 120, and you would probably have a lot of Elite 2 operators, a lot of Mastery 3 ones, and these operators can help you to clear content so easily that the game feels easy, not as meaningful, not the same experience as when you first started in the game. In order to rectify this problem, now it comes down to you thinking about what motivation would you want to cultivate, and it's no longer keeping you happy, then think about what new ways can help you to be furthermore interested by the game. If let's say you have been an operator collector or builder, and you feel that you have completed so much of the game to the point that it doesn't look as entertaining anymore, then have you tried every single operator that appears in the game? If you have a lot of resources on hand, have you tried playing with operators that you thought that maybe weren't useful or aren't very good for your account? So many people refuse to use Flamebringer for some odd reason because they think that Flamebringer is like the worst operator in the game, when you haven't even played with Flamebringer yourself. If you've never built him, how can you say that he's dead bad? Because at the end of the day, any operator can really do a lot of stuff. It comes down to just your own understanding of the operator and whether you can make them look good for you or not. Build other operators that are unpopular, like you can build yourself a Hung, you can build yourself a Kafka, Asbestos, maybe even Tsukinogi. All these operators that you thought that aren't very interesting. If you've never personally tried their kit before, how can you properly assess that maybe you actually enjoy using them very much? So if you've hit the end point of the game whereby you feel that there's no one else to build, that's not true. You have a lot of level 1 operators sitting in your account. If you want to have a bit more fun, experience new kit. Don't just go Surtur or Silver. Like, try something new. It's not always Blaze and Horns doing all their thing. Try some new operators that you have never seen their kit before and see whether you might end up growing a liking to them. Like, there are some operators that I really want to credit so badly, and I think people really underlook them. People like Irene, Leonhard, Asbestos, Beeswax. These are all very good operators that have use cases that might be better than the others. And it's really down to you to make your experience a fulfilling one. That's one of the ways that you can have a new motivation. The other motivation that I encourage you to find is to get people, to get you to be interested in the game. I understand that Arknights is a PvE game. It's not a game whereby it's PvP and you get to meet other players. There's no guild setup and whatsoever. And it's even worse whereby in this PvE game, if let's say you're a new player that enters the game, it's very difficult for you to meet other players. There's no message system in the game. You can friend someone, but all you do is give credits, and you can't really talk to anybody. The only time that you figure out that, oh wow, there's actually other people playing with me, is when you're on social media. Maybe you're watching videos by content creators talking about the game, maybe on Facebook, in the groups, chatting with other people, or in the Discord server, where you can meet so many other players that shares the same interests. These are all platforms that you can consider to further expand yourself by finding new players that shares the same interest in the game as you. There are so many people who love this game, and when you are surrounded by people who love the same thing as you, you're gonna be even more encouraged to say, wow, there's a lot of activity, there's a lot of people who cares about the game like I do. So I will encourage you to take some of the free time to build up your interest in the game, to find communities that you want to be in. If you've never been in a Discord server, you can join anyone that you like. Lots of content creators have created their own. I have my own server as well if that's a place that you want to begin in. If you're using other social media like Twitter, go and follow some Arknights artists. Some of them do beautiful works. Be in Facebook groups whereby you can see some quirky posts or memes by people to make you feel that there's really lots of people talking about the game. Or continue watching YouTube and even Twitch. My personal favorite platform to be on is Twitch. Not because I'm a live streamer, but rather that it's such an interactive experience to be someone that's streaming and being able to chat with my audience to talk about the game that I really like, to play the game for people and to have people mesmerized by my gameplay or to learn things from me as they watch me along. So build up your socials, be a part of the community, and I feel that that is one of the strongest reasons that can keep people to say, I really want to keep playing the game because I'm surrounded by wonderful people that's around me. So that's that to answer the point of if let's say you've lost some motivation or purpose, this is what you can do. Now I'm moving on to the second reason. And the second reason is something that I'm seeing way more often nowadays. It's limited banners. People are getting very frustrated by the number of limited banners that's appearing. There's currently Scouter that's predicted to drop next week because there's the whole JP livestream. Now I see that there's an army of people who's saying that they are siding more to interlocking competition than under tights. There's the people who's saying that it's actually just preluding lights, or there's also the people that's saying that it's under tights. Just because they're judging by the print art of the Autumn Thanksgiving livestream. Really, none of us can tell what it is as of now, but like I did mention, to make a livestream, it has to be about a very big event. So I still feel that it's gonna be under tights, and if it is, if we think back to whatever that happened in Arknights, from the previous anniversary to the next anniversary, we're gonna have 6 limited operators. 6 limited operators in a year. That's like 1 in 2 months. And that's a lot of operators that Hypergraph is releasing. It's quite a punch to EN players' face in my opinion. I'm gonna bring back my point to the CN controversy, whereby people were very angry by the Chen Outer. Now, we at EN are basically receiving these gunshots to our hearts to see so many limited operators being released in one go. And to some of you, you guys are getting very tired by it. It could be because you're someone that really wants to get a lot of the operators. And now seeing so many limited ones being released, it's annoying. I get it. Even I don't like it. But I never liked the entire limited operator thing because it complicates so much things. When a company releases limited banners like that, it starts to create this feeling whereby people need to hoard, and the only time that they're gonna make sales is when they do all those sales packages in those limited events. And Hypergraph kind of jeopardized it in a way whereby now people are afraid to spend their Orundums on other characters, and they're waiting out to see what's the next limited operator to see whether they want to get them or not. However, this video isn't talking about the ways that Hypergraph may be able to improve their limited operator system, but rather talking about the management of our own feelings towards it. As far as we don't like it, I would have to say that because of the whole uproar that happened in CN, one thing we can hope for is that Hypergraph will learn from this situation and think about how they can improve on this experience so that players will not be as angry about limited operators anymore. It could be things like making a limited operator no longer limited after 2 years, maybe lowering the spark count to 200, or ensuring that we will only get limited operators 4 times in a year, instead of this dreadful 6, which is ridiculous. I know some of you may feel like you're losing faith in the game because this sounds very tiring, but there's 2 things that I will say. Number 1, understand that you're not alone in that feeling. I'm equally as annoyed. I don't really defend the company or support the company in these moves that they're making. I wish they can improve more on the gameplay experience and lower down on this terrible gacha system that gets everyone panicking all the time, making them feel that they can only spend on certain limited banners and no longer care about everything else. This is very bad for free to play. It's just not a happy experience for people at all. Of course, some of us are addicted to the gacha feeling, right? We like the feeling of pulling the bag, seeing the bright colors and seeing who we get. However much we like the gacha feeling, we also do not like the feeling of losing as much. And limited banners amplifies the feelings of losing, making us feel even shittier than before. So number 1, what I'm gonna say is, have some faith again. As far as I'm disappointed, I am hopeful that Hypergraph will do some improvements to the game. They are gonna celebrate half anniversary on CN soon, and I am expecting another limited banner to appear, because it is half anniversary after all, and they need to bring Rosmontes back into Spark Store. So I feel that it is probably a time where they do have to do a limited banner thing going on, but in the future, I hope that they find some ways to arrange it such that it reduces the amount of anger and resentment towards the game. Apart from having that little bit of confidence that, you know, things are gonna ease down after this whole Scouter and Chowter things that we're gonna experience in Arknights Global, the second thing that I'll mention is that you need to understand that you're playing a gacha game. So if some of you have this feeling whereby whether you're free to play or pay to play player, you need to know that you're not entitled. You're not supposed to get every single operator in the game. If you want to get every single operator in the game, then your wallet, just open it up, pour it all in, alright? That's how you get every operator. Like even when I play this game, I don't have everyone. I have a lot of characters, but there are still characters that I want that's not in my account. And I'm not unhappy by it. Arknights isn't a game that you have to complete your Pokédex. The game is fully playable, even with starter operators. You play the game with only 3 stars, 4 stars, you beat the game. You're perfectly fine so long as you build them and you know how to use them. Dr. Silvergun shows it perfectly in all his gameplays. And even people like I Love Amiya is crazy with his 3-star gameplays to the point that he always tries his best to clear all the stages with 3 stars only. Even the most recent WD EX8, he did that in challenge mode with 3 stars only. And I'm deadly impressed by that. Like, you don't need every single operator in the game. I feel that if there's one thing that you might want to have in the game, it's this. And again, it doesn't matter if you don't have this. Even if you feel like, no, I'm quite dead brain, I'm not very good at thinking in this game, then work to improve. The joy of the game is to learn in the game. When you are able to pick up new skills, new ways of thinking, that's the way that can help you to be more motivated in the game. The way that can help you to enjoy the game even more. If you've been playing this game with the thought that, you know, no, I must get every operator, every limited operator, and I must get every waifu that I want, I'm not gonna stop you thinking that way, but if you feel angry by it, then you must get over this understanding that gacha whereby you're playing this sort of lottery of characters, this is kind of a monetization method. It's a thing that games nowadays love to do. Shooter games does loot crates, card packs, card games as well, open booster packs and you get all these sort of stuff. Gacha games, you have to put in some random currency and get the characters they want. It's all about that lottery, and it's a way to get people to keep spending and spending. It's kind of a marketing tactic. And it works. It gets the company a lot of money, and it gets people to want to keep spending. But with that in mind, you must understand that it is built in a way whereby you may not be always able to get the people that you want. And once you accept that that's the fact, then you can be less angry towards the thing. You must go back to the base understanding that you're playing Arknights. Arknights is a beautiful game whereby you don't need every operator. You don't need all the 6 stars. You can clear all the content perfectly, and owning the 6 stars, at this point, is just a flex. You can feel better than other players, like as if, wow, I have something that you don't have. But at the end of the day, even if that player doesn't have anything, that player can still beat all the same content as you do. Like, my joy of Arknights is the fact that the developers have done such a good balance in the game that every new event, every new content that they receive, it never hinders a new player. Any new player that enters the game, they can still play the game perfectly well. They can beat all the stages just fine. I recently did hand-holding on my stream, and WDEX8 is certainly a very annoying stage for people. But I helped an account that was 1 month old. 1 month! And I managed to beat the stage for that guy. My point of putting up that video is to tell you guys that, you don't have to be ashamed if you can't think of how to play the stage. But I'm trying to tell you that you can play the game at any point in time. It's so new player friendly. And that just makes Arknights such a wonderful game to play. Again, back to the idea of limited banners. Number 1, we hope for changes. We hope that Hypergrave does something in order to reduce this stress of limited banners. And number 2, understand that no matter how many limited banners or whatever operators that they release, we can't get everything. We just need to accept the fact that we're gonna farm for randoms, we try our best to get the ones that we want, and if we don't, we just get by it. Live our day with it. If pulling operators is gonna anger you, I don't know if gacha games are the best for you. Because if that's the case, then I feel that any gacha game is gonna annoy you. But if you can learn to cope with it, then yeah, welcome to Arknights. Great game to play. Now I'm carrying it to the third reason. The third reason to speak of is commitment. Some people have been playing Arknights for so long, or even at the early point in time, that they feel that the game is like a chore. I've mentioned it just now in my first reason, that if you play the game for too long, it can feel like it's a duty, that you must play the game. And I'm gonna further emphasize on it. It's not to the point that people feel that they have to play every day. It also includes the fact that some people feel that they must clear all the content. They must clear all the EX stages, they must clear all the story chapters, make sure that they max out the event rewards, get everything. If not, they can't play the game the same way as other people do. The thing here is, that's entirely not true. You don't need to clear every single content. Of course, if we talk about event stages, if you clear every single content, you can get all the medals, you can try to max out your story rewards. But if you can't clear it, then don't mind it. When I first played Arknights, and the first 4 events were things like Granny, Code of Brawl, Obsidian Festival, and they had normal stages along with EX stages. Boy, I could not clear any of the EX stages at that point in time. I failed the EX stages halfway. Like Obsidian Festival had 8 EX stages, I stopped at like EX3. I think, or is it EX4? I think it was EX4. And at that point in time, I wasn't streaming or making YouTube videos. I was just a casual player. And I even had to refer to like a kill steam guide just to see whether I can beat the stage. And it worked out, but thereafter, I just couldn't beat EX5. I don't have the operators for it, I don't have the brain for it as well. So the point I'm trying to make is that you don't need to clear every single content. If you feel that you must grab every medal, that comes down to being a bit of like a you problem. You don't have to be an overachiever to the point that you feel that you must get every single achievement, you must get every single item. Because that's not how Arknights is. Even if you miss out on a little bit of the rewards, it doesn't affect your gameplay. The game is still going to be perfectly playable just by regular farming, regular playing of the time, regular playing of the events. So the first thing of all is that don't stress yourself to complete everything. If you can't complete something, the 3 things you can do: look for a guide, watch a video, like watch all the many guides that so many Arknights content creators try to make to help you guys solve the stage. We dedicate our time, our sanity, so that this can help you to save your trouble of solving the stage and beating it on your own. But don't over-rely on guides. If you genuinely need help, go and watch a guide. If you're very strong, you played the game for a long time, or you feel that you can solve yourself, then don't limit yourself. Have fun in the game and solve the stage for yourself. That way you can be independent and no longer rely on guides, because at the end of the day, the game is your own experience. You should make fun for yourself and not limit it by always trying to find answer sheets. Second thing after watching guides, if you still can't beat the stage, then look for people who can help you. Like, go to Discord servers and look for people who maybe wouldn't mind hand-holding you. The term hand-holding means entering your account to help you to solve it. You must be wary, this has a bit of a safety issue, but honestly there's a lot of genuine people who are willing to help others to beat the stage. And if you don't mind it, ask around for people's help. You know, share your account, join a Discord call, hop in and watch along as the person tries to solve the stage for you. Like, those are super fun experiences that can help you to bond with other players as they help you along to guide you on some tips on improving in the game. So find people who are willing to help you to beat the stage. And if not, the third thing that you can do is be okay about not being able to clear a stage. Because again, you don't need to clear everything. Like, no one's telling you to do that. I don't even say that in my beginner's guide because it's simply not a must. Take the game at your own pace, but at an optimal pace. If let's say you're playing events, just clear all the regular event stages. EX stages are just a bonus anyways. They're called EX for a reason. It's extra, or if not, it's extreme. But I like to think of it as extra because you don't really need to clear them. And story stages, you don't have to go so far until chapter 8. If you clear up to chapter 4, you got most of the farming stages that you need. And then you can just play the game at your own pace, clear maybe one stage a day. Don't create the situation of burnout so fast on yourself by stressing yourself out. My overall point about commitment being one of the reasons for burnout is that work to reduce your commitment. Don't overcommit to the game. If you find that you're very tired of the game, then slow down and don't bother yourself with collecting everything. At most, log in every day, do your farming stages, do your little base reshuffles, collect all your daily rewards and get out. That's like some of the ways that people love to play Genshin, right? Like, just log in, clear daily commission, and get out of the game. Because that's where you get most of the rewards anyways. Like, you can play Arknights that way as well. It's just log in, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you're out. So don't overcommit if you feel that commitment is a problem. The final reason that I mentioned for burnout is that people find the game too hard. It can be because you're a new player. It can also be because you've been a long time player, and being at level 100 and 110, maybe you can't clear all the content. You're stuck. So even you feel like you can clear EX stages, but maybe you don't have the energy or the mind for it to actually do it. If you're feeling the game is really, really hard, then what I advise you to do is to slow down, like the advice I gave you in the third reason. Take your time to learn. If you've been brute forcing, you've been going full meta, like, oh, Silver Ash, Surtur, do everything. And sometimes there's all these new stages where these meta operators don't seem to always work in your favor. Like, WD and OD kind of shows it that way, doesn't it? And Arknights is turning to the point whereby it's less about brute forcing, and they're getting creative in their stages to make it in a way whereby you may want certain operators or archetypes to be in your arsenal in order to beat the stage. OD loved AoE operators. A Walk in the Dust loves that you slow down and really take your time to get rid of the boss. Future stages, there's gonna be even more stuff. There are maps that love snipers, there are maps that love defenders, there are maps that love specialists, pushers or pullers. So every event is always emphasizing about a different archetype, a different strong operator that makes the stage shine. If you haven't got your chance to really learn the inside out of the game, then take your time to learn. And don't learn it only just at your own solo experience. As a solo experience, use your practice permits. Go and try all the skills of operators and understand them. Appreciate the numbers. Numbers in Arknights isn't complicated. It's simple enough math of plus, minus, times, divide. In the future, I'll teach you guys really slowly about how to calculate the numbers in Arknights to improve on your understanding in the game. But for now, generally speaking, really take the experience wholeheartedly, be open to learn the various things that occur in the game. Even after you've put this effort, if you need more guidance, again, also, don't be afraid to watch guides. Guides are there for you. Go ahead and watch some of them if these guides or videos can help you to learn better about the game. Take the game at your own pace. No one's gonna say that a level 120 person needs to beat everything in the game. It can feel that way. And if you say that to someone that's level 120 and you think that they're bad at the game, no, you're just bad at helping that person. Be constructive when you're trying to help people and improve on their time in the game. We're all here together to assist each other and to make this game as fun as it can be for everyone to enjoy. Now that I've covered all of the 4 reasons, I do have one final overall advice that addresses to each of these types of burnout. That is, if you're tired of the game, take a break. Like, take a full-on break. If you're so drained that you hate that you're collecting orundums non-stop, you hate seeing the number of operators, but you still love the game, it's a great game, it's a game that you want to play on and on, but you're just too tired, go and take a break. Turn off the game, you don't have to delete it, or delete it if you want, if you insist, make sure your account is binded, leave the game for like a week, 2 weeks, a month, take as long as you need. Once you feel that you're not as tired, you want to get back in the game is always here. The game is waiting for your return. New players can join the game right now and still feel that, hey, I can play the game perfectly fine. You, as a returning player in 1 month, the game is still going to be as playable as ever. It's still going to work, it's still going to function. Take breaks when you need to. Give yourself that full-on rest, and then afterwards, come back, be re-energized, and find new purpose, new motivation to play the game again. That, at least to me, is the best solution that can help you to deal with burnout. Let's put it all in summary as to the things that I've mentioned. Or basically, this is a TLDR. I know people love to put TLDRs in the comments because they feel that I speak too long in my videos, but I have a reason for speaking long. If I don't speak long in my videos, things that I say won't be clear. People won't know the full meaning of what I'm trying to say, they don't really appreciate the points that I'm making. That's why I always elaborate on the things that I'm saying. But now, I do the favor for you, TLDR. If you're facing burnout, adjust your expectations, take your time to learn, slow down in the game, reduce your commitment, find people as interested in the game, people who are willing to help you in the game, watch more content creators whether on live streams or in videos, and take a full-on break as the last resort measure if you really need to. That's all I have to mention as the managing of burnout. And I hope for some of you watching here in my video that this video will help you out a lot. If not, I shall see you guys in my next video. Alright, have a great time, have a great day. Bye bye.